let's hope that due to Mercury in shadow, everything works correctly. I just love these transits, don't you? We're going to do a channel energy update. Now, it has been pretty interesting for the last, I'd say 4 days. The energy has been very, very intense. I'm going to wait for people to connect, and I shall get to the downloads, the psychic energies, and we will get up to date with the energy. Hi, Dale. How are you? Have you been keeping grounded? Because this energy has been very purgatory. Very purgatory, but I've started looking at the energy of the collective, and also I may also do an update for Libra, because there's a lot of aspects that Libra is going to go through in 2020. We do have Juno also. Hi April, welcome. We've got Juno that's going to be going retrograde, and that is on the 8th, and it will affect the collective. Now, I am going to be tuning into the collective energy, and I do see a pattern actually happening in the collective. You had a birthday. Oh, you got a grandbaby. Congratulations. Yeah, well, it is a new decade, so there's the new energies coming in, but there's old energies going out. Now, with this Leo moon, again, it is activating our third eye. Okay. It is also going to be activating our crown chakra, so we're still guided to drink fluid. If you are finding that you're having, hi Fem Coach, if you are having ascension symptoms and you're having like ailments and things to that degree, ringing of your ears, purging, it's better out than in. It's just try to do it in a healthy fashion. It's very natural, you know, we go through the ebbs and flows, and as we have self-mastery, we do tend to detach from those things and go with the actual ocean over actually fighting it. So you're going to be finding your crown chakra is going to be activated, but you can start getting a very sharp third eye at the moment. And the reality is, the yin and the yang of masculine and feminine resides inside our third eye, and it is within different areas of our chakra system. At a later date, I have already started scripting a lot of the videos I'm going to do for the information sessions for those of you in the collective that need information videos. So the chakras that we have activated that are above, we still directly have the more denser chakras that are transmuting frequency. Now, there is, again, a lot of solar plex energy, and that is linking in a lot to do with the astrology at the moment. Very separately, you know, with your chakra system, especially if you're feminine, we've got feminine and masculine in both of us. It's balancing the give and take. You know, those chakras, when they've got the yin and the yang, it's the give and the take and balance. It's very healthy, especially there is a lot of heart chakra at the moment. Now, I know that Juno going retrograde is linking into Libra. It's actually governed by Libra. And again, the masculine frequency, we do need to be looking at the Jupiter aspects, and that's going to be in Capricorn. Now, next month it is going to be going retrograde, and it does go retrograde for quite a while. It's from May to September. There's going to be a lot of choices being made, and that you've got to remember that when we tune into collective energy, at a point in the journey, you will very much, and it's quite natural, you look at it more from the perspective of you and the other person. Duality. Thanks, Stel. Duality is all about you also coming to a healthy space where you can help that ascension process. And it's not to say you won't tune into their energy. We all do that individually. It can be a person, it can be a situation, because this is collective energy. Astrologically speaking and spiritually speaking, the way you can look at this transit this month is quite unique. Now, masculines also are quite, and you may laugh, governed by the throat chakra, oddly enough. Don't laugh. Except the energy is utilized differently. When we have the balance of the third eye in play, where we can see the perspective of the yin and the yang, we more have an effective visual energy and we're able to compassionately from the heart come to it from detachment of seeing the yin and the yang, seeing the black and the white, you know, the shadow aspects of things and the reality of things, and then moving through to the crown chakra and like Abraham Hicks, going down that rapid and moving through the energy. For feminines collectively, you may find there can be a frustrating energy coming up in you, and it is about the balance of give and take. It can also be to do with people's expectations. There's a lot of energy at the moment coming through with expectations. The Leo moon is almost a slower energy, where some of the things you may not be feeling you can get things off the ground. Now, especially with Aries being in Venus, the energy of Jupiter now being in Capricorn, it's taking on a unique trend. Now, some of you may be finding that you're moving into a health kick and you're thinking, okay, I'm ready to move those kilos. I'm ready to eat healthy. You might have noticed some habits and some things creeping in, and all of a sudden you're actually changing that. You're looking at it and you're thinking you're really ready to do that. The Capricorn frequency in Jupiter is very helpful. It does actually assist you deal with those spiritual blocks, and you will naturally start, over the next few months, maybe even reflect back over it, but actually be choosing healthier choices. So you will find with Jupiter, when it's in its own element, its own energy and zodiac sign, the growing is there. So potentially, they always suggested that when we have a Jupiter aspect like that, to wear loose clothes, because weight gain is quite common, especially if there's a blockage in the chakra. It is that inner child and all the lower energies. We can be doing healing at that basis. Let me look. Okay, masculine frequencies at the moment are directly learning, especially with their Jupiter energy, what it is to receive. Now, when I say that, it's more from the perspective of where those things were in balance. I do feel by March those things will be coming through to them quite clearly. But already being in the Capricorn frequency, what you're going to start seeing within your own vibration as a female and in your own vibration as a male, these energies of perspective, perceptions, and comprehension are going to be coming to you in a very different way. Feminines are almost moving back into the energy of where they were supposed to be, but it doesn't quite feel that way. So it can feel very, you can get to a point you may feel anxious, you may feel angry or agitated. You may be looking at things and quite overwhelmed by everything you're needing to achieve. I'm really needing to get more of a routine in play, and you'll already feel the Saturn frequency coming through. How do I put it? Where you're going to be looking at where this organisation, the foundation and everything to that degree is needing to come into balance. Yes, it's making sense here. These cards are making sense already. Potentially some of you, as we move through this month, you might be seeing synchronistic patterns of 666. Anyone in the house been saying 666? I've been saying a lot of 1400, which I'm used to now. That's very much to do with your ascension process, your duality, your detachment energy. But also there is a lot of 111s, which is almost confirming to you that you are on the right path. You're guided in the correct direction. Doors may be not opening right away, but you do need to be patient with that. They are going to come through. And when it does come to manifesting or wanting something to move forward, you're really guided to use some meditation at the moment. Pause. You're really guided to, go into the thinking pattern, go into the meditated state, be in the receptive mode where you can get the downloads and the feelings. Yeah, okay. So the sixes are linking into Saturn energy. I always look at that is change. And I read a very interesting article that, a sheriff badge is directly linked to 6 stars. The constellation of Saturn with the rings with marriage is, again, Saturn energy. So Saturn will be going retrograde next month into Aquarius. If you're getting hunches as to lots of doubles, yeah. Again, they will directly relate to your path very uniquely. It's subject matters that are coming up, and they don't have to directly link to a person. So it's very difficult when you're going through ascension symptoms, soul scarred path, so to speak, and you're trying to comprehend how to directly look at the numbers. They come in different formats. The more integrated you get and the more spiritually, how do I put it, in an awakened state you are, you potentially can stop seeing the numbers as much. It will be more in a guidance sense. You'll see the synchronicities. No, Dale, you haven't. But from a very different element, you will be listening so intently to yourself. Okay, well, that's not meant to come out. Cool. That you won't require them any longer. So they may stop. So don't stress too much and panic if you're not seeing them. It's just a different enlightened state. Yeah, it's very, very intense at the moment. It can be very aggressive. You may be very much like, it's an eye-opening frequency coming through. It is directly related to you, and it's almost a course. What's happening right now is a shifting of course, okay? So it's somehow we, in an ego sense, felt we were doing X, Y, and Z. An epiphany moment can come in, which shows you an effective energy inside you. And then you directly go back into yourself and you sit there and go, wow, I didn't actually know that that was a reality or know that that was an issue. And it can be something ever so trivial and small, but you're going to get to the root cause of a belief system, and there is a lot of purging of old belief systems at the moment. So suddenly it might have been a plan or a dream that you had in mind, and then you're being tested upon that theory. This year being a number 4 year, it is also, how do I put it, being the rat hunter-gatherer. It's also using your smart and making what you have go the distance. But there is a shift within the masculine frequencies at the moment, and they are feeling an energy very, very uniquely, more in an internal sense, but it's coming out. And there can be more communication during this time, especially since they actually have the energy, in the yin and yang. The yang aspect of masculine frequency does link up to the throat chakra, which again is very Saturn energy. And then we also have the masculine in the solar plex energy, which the inner child work and the energies of their power and choices. It comes to a point where that's really being very strongly aspected as well. So there is potential communication. There's also more direct approach to do with things. So you always tend to find that you'll have synchronistic patterns coming up. But there is a huge healing happening in the collective at the moment, even if you visually, and the Leo energy comes back to the third eye. So we're trying to perceive and understand and comprehend the downloads, and especially with the frequency of Mercury being in Pisces, it's again, yin yang. It's almost the feminine intuitive aspect of things from the Pisces frequency, and the heart-based energy from Venus, but again, it's falling back down into Chiron. So it's these multiple layers of energies that are coming through to us where we're feeling maybe distorted, maybe overwhelmed, maybe how do we perceive this? And that's why we're guided to pause just temporarily. But there are major decisions that are being made, which is quite ironic, because we're quite guided to reflect back on the communication, reflect back on the movement. And then when you do move into the Pisces frequency, it's hugely manifesting, where you'll have more energy to directly change some of these dynamics. But you will find, I do feel for a lot of you, this year really is the year of communication and movement. I know for me, spiritually, what I went through 2017, 2018, moving into 2019, I can see those energies and trends playing out in the collective. How you directly deal with it will be similar but more 3D based. So if you're finding yourself becoming quite 3D, it's quite normal. Yes, well, that was another thing, and I explained that to my sister this morning, because, in dual energy and collective energy, there is this very detached, just physically exhausted energy of no BS allowed. But with that, you're quite surprised where some of you may be feeling, oh, I don't think I can do this anymore. You want to run for the hills and there's just no more, to give. And if a question is articulated to you, you also know the further into the journey you get, the energy is inside you. So even if you ran for the hills and even if you wanted to tap out, the energy and a frequency sense of a psychic download, and especially by the time we do move into the Pisces moon on the 23rd, there's no going from it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like work with it. It feels like life is working against you, but what it's actually showing you is that of what you don't like in a vibration sense. So when it's coming up, it's going and it's not going to be there again, which is hugely positive. But it's trying to actually work with that energy that is very, at times, very frustrating. And I have actually talked to a few people that are very spiritual, some astrologers, some mediums, and all energetically, we have been talking about the aspect that potentially over the last 3 years as guides, it's really hard to sugarcoat things, and you optimistically wish to guide people. And it's not that there's going to be no positivity. It's a bit like once you have had a purge of a belief system, it doesn't define you any longer. So there's light, there's bonus to that, right? But it's that process is always very arduous to move through, and nobody really wants to go through that. But we directly know that we never want to feel that again. So it's sort of like an oxymoron of, oh, do we not? What are we saying here? Do we never want to feel that vibration again? Yeah. And then you're feeling the energy and you're going, yeah, but that feels yuck. And it's like, I feel you. It feels yuck. It's disgusting. It's a horrible feeling. Now, on a purging state, if you're getting sick, obviously go to the doctors, okay? Especially with the viruses and things to that degree going around, but very separately. I'm not a doctor. I am a spiritual advisor. So very separately, if you are having symptomatics that you can deem as ascension symptoms, and you're going, here we go again. It could be ailments. It could be base chakra, especially with the Saturn frequency, because, again, it connects in for the foundation of things and for the throat aspect of things. So the masculine energy is governed by that, and it's strict in energy. So when it's coming through in an upgrade, it's looking at the reality of what you're speaking versus what the foundation is. And that's really what masculine's going through. But then it's the compilement of those energies of belief systems that are coming flooding up. Very sensitive at the moment. And I feel collective energy of males and females may be, and it can happen very quickly. So just be really cautious. Be very mindful of the way we're talking with things. And I mean, we say this always during a Mercury retrograde, but it's more from a place of what is the outcome you're wanting to achieve. It's not to say that even if you wish for an outcome to be a certain way and you're relating to it a certain way, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, well, I've had throat chakra, I've had kidney infections, I've had base chakra. Like, honestly, I would say it's been 2 months and I've felt like I've been through the wars. And there was a lot of purging that was going on over the weekend for us in Australia. So for different people that I did talk to in the collective, they were going through that energy too, especially feminine energies, where ailments and the body deteriorating has been coming out probably for the last 3 months, but it's intensifying. But it's that self-care, self-love. And the funny thing is, when you do look at the chakra systems and you do look at planets, different charts say different things. So sometimes they're polar opposite, which is the yin and the yang. And we're needing to balance both of those areas. So in the throat aspect of things, it may be feeling that you're feeling quite muted. But the ironic thing is, in the throat chakra, I'll just give you a heads up. I'm not going to mess the way the cards are because I've pulled them. I've pulled them so that I have no ego connected while I've been talking. In the throat chakra, feminines are the receivers. Yet how has it been operating? Not really. Most communication has come through from feminine. So it's listen more, speak, and it's not you have to speak less. It's allowing that energy to come to you in a very spiritual way. And as I said, males and females have yin and yang. So in the hunter-gatherer, if you need to effectively deal with something, yes, you then need to transmute that. If you're trying to get information, it can be blocked at the moment because you're in the receiver mode, which means you're in balance. So if you're in the receiver mode, you're allowing that frequency to come through to you. So it can become quite stifling. So it's almost speaking, and you'll feel tired to the point you'll only speak if you need to. That's really because it's again, the egoic experience is pulling us back down into the yin-yang frequency. When you're using it for work, etc., you'll find it'll flow a bit better. But then if you're using it more for the aspect of purging and, healthy boundaries, yes, but in a sense of having the energy to bother with BS, it won't be there, okay? Because you're in the receiver mode. You're like, look, if you're working with me, I'm working with you. I'm not fighting this. And if you're coming from that, you need to balance the masculine aspect and the belief system out. We'll get into the read anyway. I am going to say that it is very, very positive that Jupiter is in Capricorn. And the reason being, masculines are directly governed by that planet. There are other elements, obviously, but we are going to have a lot of Capricorn frequency this month. The Capricorn energy is very accountable energy. Now, I'm talking from the healthy perspective of retrogrades, directs, they force us into a way of being. They give us an environment and an energy, and they help us upgrade to be, in the best possible shape of our lives. It's like the step-up energy. So this is a hugely positive aspect for them both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And the first card is really looking like that energy of Jupiter, okay? This is the crowning energy for masculine yin-yang energies in all of us collectively. So, moving in the infinity symbol, us being in duality, us moving towards where we're supposed to be, it's very healthy. The one large subject that's going to come up that is coming in a download is where the give and take, and this is Saturn energy, is 6. It's the looking at the balance of these things. This is to do with also Uranus and Taurus being changed. So, something has shifted our perspective. I feel this was more towards the end of January. And now that we've moved in, we're now looking at things and we're going, an opinion, a vibration, a belief, our path potentially. Things have changed. And they've given us this aha epiphany, and that's on both sides of the fence. What needs to stay, what needs to go? Now, when we're blocked, we feel disempowered, and there is this energy of disempowerment coming through spiritually. So potentially in a conflict sense, the energy that's coming through from Jupiter and the growth that we're all wishing to attain inside ourselves and in connections, it's this absolute Saturn energy coming through of the give and take must be in balance. And if it's not, it's transmuted that way. It's almost like this is making us actually step up. And that's on both sides of the fence. This is a cycle this month that is really helping that. What will shift that will be the direct Capricorn energy. Mars is even going to be in Capricorn, which is, again, it's connecting him with crops, but it's also connecting him with the planet, of war, Mars. And again, it is also the Aries and Chiron frequency, the Mars frequency. So it's the wounds, how we directly look at them. I mentioned the placements in the January and February reads. And that's so you guys can navigate through. It's more becoming mindful. When you've done a lot of work, you don't need that. But if you've got that as a hone-in energy code, when triggers come up, you're looking at it from a, hey, this is part of my spiritual growth. This is taking me. This is actually, be it I do or don't want it, it's part of my spirituality. It's what's going to happen. Again, focus too much on the gold, the finances. It's it's almost a shift in the collective that's happening to take our mind off finances. I'm telling you. It's like, right, okay, we're focused quite heavily on that energy. And there's two subject matters coming up. There's, especially with the Capricorn energy, we have Saturn, Pluto, Mars in Capricorn. We have then the Pisces energy coming up in the Sun, Mercury, and we also have Juno that's going retrograde on the 8th. That is in Libra, which again, very romantic heart chakra energies. And, you know, what are we fighting for? What are we trying to create here? And again, it can also be just wanting the shiny picture, just really wanting the value in something, and almost like frustrated at having to fight for that. It should come natural. I'm not finding this card on this occasion to be a negative thing. I feel in the feminine aspect of things, potentially you're looking at things more from a spiritual point of view. All that glistens is not gold. You want your spirituality, you want your peace, you want your harmony. You've been doing a lot of work spiritually, and it has become almost, is this even worth it? But it's tiring. It's not that the person, place, or thing. It's just, it's more an energy that many can be feeling at the moment, physically fatigued from dilemmas, dramas, adversity, ascension symptoms, the physical sheer exhausted energy of it. Also, in a perspective sense, masculines are looking at this and noticing that their soul also needs their balance. They're owning that energy is for the bigger person, but now what's calling them is their spirituality. And I know that when I talk to my twin about this, he has a very unique way of having a perspective of spirituality, and we've been talking about this for a while. He's a very good teacher. I always try to deem to masculine energies, you know, your spirituality is your inner peace and what brings you harmony and happiness. It's your belief systems. It's your, you know, when something's nagging at you and you feel an expectation is placed on you, it's, how does that feel? You know, when you're in that frequency, does it feel, there's a difference between taking accountability and being great for everyone else around you to the detriment to your health. You know, that's the balance. That's the balance of understanding that no masculine on this planet should have to get to a point where their worth is less than another individual. It's not for anybody. And in the yin and yang effect inside males and females, this has been an imbalance that has been going on. And there has been a lot of expectations, belief systems that we've been ingrained with that's really coming out of it or coming up in a trigger point, and we're looking at it and going, I used to believe that. Do I relate to that anymore? I'm going to pull a crowning energy here. Now, next card. When it comes to romance and love and our wounds, there is this very stuck energy right now. Stuck energy. This is really linking into two paths. How do I do this? Trying to balance everything. It can be the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn that are theoretically still going to be playing out. Even when we do move into March, there's still going to be side-swiping energies coming through in astrology to give us hints, you know, with our finances, our work, our employment, when it comes to the energy of our family. A lot of family-related dynamics and inner child has been coming up with people in the collective. Connecting in who's your tribe, who do you want to move away from, who feels energetically like an energy vampire. And it doesn't mean to say you won't love these people. These can be many different variety of people. Naturally, people are wanting a very quieter vibration. It's like, how do we get back to that? You know, ignorance was bliss. The peacefulness of being able to have that vibration without the accountable energy coming through. And it feels deeply accountable right now, which is exhausting. This indecision has caused a lot of conflict. Now, the world coming through is shifting energies. And again, once we amp into these retrogrades and Mercury retrograde, look at it as a positive thing. It's time to reflect. It's a time to pause, to come into your recuperation of your energy. Your crowning energy overall is inner child work, and it's okay. What are your belief systems, and where have people been taking too much? Where have you been giving too much? It might have been an old energy you've gone back down on, or something that you've outgrown on. And, you know, we talk about the term spiritual walk-in when you've had a transformation, and 9 times out of 10, when you're having a purge, you will become very fatigued, which depletes the third eye. More, the ego can be really diminished. And again, the yellow energy can be sun energy as well, which is the Leo energy. So it's linking in with 2 frequencies here. It's very much the egoic energy of the third eye, but it's also the inner child connected to that, your beliefs. If you can come to a release of it, at first it will be the frequency of, okay, left, right, masculine, feminine, because we look at it differently. Duality comes from almost the 7 stages of that process. Then getting to a point, do you accept? Yes, I do. There is donation there, and I usually answer questions. And yes, I do have PayPal. There is a link down there, I believe. So with the energy of the, and this is 7. Now, I was reading up with the 7 energy. Now, in a transformative sense, it goes in 7-year cycles, and I have been seeing a lot of 7s lately. So, you know, each of us going through, from the day you're born till 7, moving up, we go through spiritual processes where they change in increments. And it's really, you know, moving through each zodiac sign, you come to that growth within Saturn. It's like sharpening a pencil, you know, fine-tuning that aspect and that element. And I do feel for many, there's going to be a lot of movement. Now, we do have the energy of give and take out of balance. We also have a lot of healthy boundaries we're creating, but potentially not from fear-based frequency, more from maybe actually seeing an aspect of yourself that you've changed and you've evolved from within the cycle. So this is, you know, we can look at karma and we can look at the laws of attraction. There is an exhausting energy where the balance is coming through. Also, you know, like I said, all that glistens is not gold. A value system, looking at that, potentially it was out of balance, very focused in the 3D, and then feeling in a way, how on earth have we got off course here? You know, well, this is what we're needing. We're needing love. We're needing the tenderness of this energy, and it's fatiguing. Okay, there is a fatigued energy recuperation is needed, and this is around the time of this Leo moon, because spiritually anything that is meant for you is going to come to you, but it's this push-pull energy and this very confusing energy. Now I'm going to tune into feminine energy. Let's see what's going on with all you guys. Okay, you guys are creating walls. You're being very protective of yourself. You got your fort. You got Rapunzel, let your hair down energy going on. It's personal boundaries, but it's to the max. It's like, look, spiritually, you may need to get into the 5D, which requires meditation. And we say, okay, how do we do that? It's having the time. And you may have had so much on your plate where you have been feeling as though, where is that? I know for me personally, over the weekend, I sat and I was talking to a fellow friend who's deeply, deeply spiritual. I'm very grateful. And just really sitting there in the energy and looking at the stars and being present in that moment. You know, some of us can say, hey, we need a holiday. Other times you're looking at it and the most simplistic of task of breathing. And I was watching a tree and it was blowing and it was unique. It's like, and I said to this friend of mine, I said, that is who I am. That is how I should be. But the thing is, you know, when we get the 3D energies coming through in the 5D, it's almost like an epiphany moment where we're looking and we're needing to be very much like Abraham Hicks, be the tree and flow with the wind. But it's when you're getting these vibrations as an empath, you're actually mastering your psychic gift, and it can become very overwhelming. So energetically, like attracts like, you will have the energy vampire frequency going on. And again, it's like really needing to have some time to just have that self-care. Totally. Now, again, Mercury retrograde for feminines is like, be in the receptive mode. To listen to your body, to listen to how you feel. There can be communication coming in. You may need to listen to what's said before shooting. Okay, don't shoot. You may be shooting, right? The vacation energy is take a vacation, right? The vacation can be 2.5. Yeah, I'm with you. I totally relate. That was really what I was feeling. And it was like, really? Have I got... We've always got work to do. But the energy, it can be very exhausting at times where you're thinking, look, tap out. And it's everyone collectively. It's just the most frustrating. You're grateful for it after steps in the journey, but during that process, especially if you've been going through your ascension symptoms for many years, it really has come to exhaustion point. You guys, feminines, you're like, look, you're being patient with this. You're being patient. It's like patient. And I used to hate that, especially 3 years ago when I'd get the card patience. I'd be like, don't even question my patience. I am too patient. There has been patience, and this is the mental notion looking back. It's like, how patient have I been to have this happy ending? To have this happy ending. Having to pick up pieces and continue, okay? Needing this to physically move now in order for there to be a healthy resolve with the situation. The Leo moon is helping bring this up. It's like you will see the value in this. It's pausing, being in the energy. You guys are going to be really surprised. I'm telling you, I do have faith in this situation. I feel the energy very similar to you, especially as a psychic medium. I usually get the energy downloads in a very horrendous kind of format. And then I kind of grasp the energy and it's like, okay, I'm going to come and give you guys a message because it's overdue and it's needed. And I know what you guys will be going through in the few days coming. But just, stand firm. This too shall pass. It almost does feel like an eclipse energy. I'll be honest with you. It does feel like an eclipse energy. Again, I'm going to pull a clarifier on this. Now, if there's conflict happening around you, even if you are in a spiritual connection, the person's near you or they're not, you'll directly find synchronistic patterns happening around you wherever you are. It won't matter. And this isn't just governed to, people on the scarred path, twin flame path, people going through an awakening. This is collective energy. We all are going through a transformative state. So how we directly link our frequency in with other energies, the more into, our awakened state we are, the more vibrations we'll get. So at the moment, you guys might be feeling like you just need to have some hermit mode. So there's the energy of Saturn coming through. There's also the energy of the egoic purge coming through, or your beliefs and seeing clear as to really focusing on the goal and what you're wanting. Yeah, I'm with you. And the 9 energy is very much, it's okay. Look at how they are, hunched over, tired. Wow, got a walking cane. I'm going to drag my body up. Allow the energy of light. There's light frequency coming in at the moment. That's actually upgrading us. This is how I can explain it. When we're getting these rays coming down to upgrade us, we will go through heavy energy. With that heavy energy, when you get it, go, wow, be excited. And I know this makes absolute polar opposite sense. It's a positive sign because it means you're about to release something huge. You're about to achieve something huge. But when you're in it, you're like, oh my goodness. But it's these updates are upgrading us and they're taking us to better grounds, and it is positive. So take the 9 energy as a temporary pause. Take it. If it's slow and you can't control your finances, you can't control other things, you got 99 problems and that ain't one. Breathe, shift the focus onto what you can, which can be inner care. As soon as you detach, detachment is a mass manifester. As soon as you worry about something, you get the polar opposite. As soon as you don't, it's like you detach. I'll give you an example. Everything I needed to pay was paid. And my daughter goes, oh, I need credit. I'm like, can't help you till payday. And I said detach. As soon as I detached, readings started coming through. I went, there you go. There's your credit. Bye. Detach. If you live in lack, you receive lack. If you live in detachment and you trust, things move. Things balance. This is what's happening for many feminines. It's looking at it, you're getting the downloads, you're feeling the energy. You're also knowing that this is purging to a degree where you will not have. Once you've had the opening of your third eye, the energy is like, you can't lie. You can't lie. You have seen the yin and the yang. You can't lie. So you may be operating very ironically like you have verbal diarrhea, but not in a nasty way, in a transmuting frequency where potentially the way you might have been operating with other people in the past was sugarcoating things. And you can't, right? So you speak the frequency of truth with love and compassion, and they may not be feeling it's love and compassion, but you're being authentic. And the authenticity is very challenging for people because they're like, are you angry? No, I'm speaking truth. Your truth is your truth. Your reality is your reality. And so it's like when you reach this third eye energy and it's opened, even if you have trigger points and you are going through a progressive healing state, you're still not going to be able to lie. So this is where masculines are moving through to. It's like they're seeing this energy, but they're more doing it from the perspective of living in it, communicating it, but then, they're seeing it. They're going to be seeing it. So it's more visual and it's eye-opening. Now, conflicts that come up, either at a 3D, 5D, or with energies around you, there can be people really projecting at you at the moment, feminine. And even if you're not talking directly to a person, a love, interest, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to use that word. The unhealthy boundaries are coming up. Interesting. And I started coughing. You don't want to fight with anyone. This is why it's coming. The fatigue is you don't have any more room to fight. You got no more fight. Now the fight is healthy, right? And this coughing, I'm telling you, it's connecting in with masculine. This is arguments, conflict, viewing situations, looking at things, too much BS going on. Toxicity, karmic frequency. Eat, pray, repeat. And you're looking at it going, would you like fries with that? And then, and you're like, you can't even say the term, and I'm going to cough again. And then, no. This is your inner soldier. You're in receptive mode. So people might be looking at you like you're comatose. People might be looking at you like, oh, they're mad. My dad used to do that. He'd go quiet, and then he'd start laughing, and I go, oh, I'm stuffed. You better run, girl. You're all up in your grill of the Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Swords comes across in many ways. Unbelievable. I'm not even sick. Yes, I will be at the end, sweet. Okay, Queen of Swords energy. Oh, okay, a home domain. There are things when you're looking at family, when you're looking at situations, when you're moon energy, okay? Home connects to base chakra, Saturn frequency. It also connects into the nodes in Cancer at the moment, which again is moon frequency. So when we get the full moon in Leo, it is to do with yin-yang frequency. It's also to do with inner healing and inner child work, but family-related dynamics and nodes in Cancer. We had the eclipse in January. So in general, your home is inside feminines, okay? But you can be looking at a lot of dynamics playing out to do with home, to do with family. You might be shifting things around. You may want to move. You might be looking at what the reality of home is. And I mean, I've said this over potentially the last 6 months. My home is inside me. And with the tribe I resonate with. Now, I don't have to resonate with everybody, and I don't have to agree with everybody, and somebody could tell me a message, and even when I do click on the energy of a reading, if something ever triggers me, or I feel in my disconcerting energy, disconcernment, I'm not feeling that, That's healthy, because we also always should check in with ourselves how it resonates. Listen through, because potentially even in that frequency we can learn something, but we then must ultimately, feel that energy ourselves. So home energy, I'm going to pull a shark. Oh, I'm going to pull another card on that. Larger animal too. Oh. I'm laughing at this. Yeah, popcorn sounds good. I have that as a comedy thing I say to my girlfriend when I know the show's on, when there's a lot of karmic frequency or dilemmas or triggered egoic energies playing out in the, wherever. It can be people around you, it can be our own energy. It's like grab a bag of popcorn. This is unique. Now, the Pisces moon, you're going to more be intuitive, right? Right now, you guys might not be feeling you're seeing everything. Something feels hidden. That's okay. I'm playful too. You've got our totem in reverse. Now, this is when it comes to the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords energy, connecting in with home, connecting in with tribe, connecting in with people. It's like, if anything, you're being very protective. Now, this protective energy is, I don't want to have to keep thinking about my intuition. You should be really direct and clear with me. And unless you can be direct and clear with me, I'm not playing. Okay, don't want to have to keep using my intuition with paranoia, or even, the crown chakra. Your psychic energy and your intuitive energy is there, but you need the quiet in order to have it. But you're also disconnected and saying, I'm paying enough. Okay, you're being very harsh to poor students. You're being very harsh to people that aren't learning lessons, and there's no tolerance there. It's very sharp and it's very cutting. This is why this is happening. It's for us to go into that energy of where we have choices, yet mature up. The Capricorn energy is assisting us both do that right now. So this is detachment of this frequency, and there can be people around you playing out. This is going to move the energy quicker. It's like, right, this has to shift, this foundation, this situation, these dynamics playing out. For the energy of growth, you're going to see things that are preventing that. So there's the BS radar is at 100, and potentially in the early stages was at 10, and now 100 seems amped up to the max of overused. So no more BS here. Masculine energies, look where they are. Okay, crown chakra having downloads. The Mercury energy for them is the Pisces frequency, okay? This is very psychic energy coming through. Their mind is getting activated. They're balancing out the yin and yang within their crown chakra. They're getting downloads. They're clarifier. Where this blockage is, where the ego is connected to this, where manipulators are, where the energy of push-pull is coming from and why they feel this way. The trigger points with masculine energies, they're having an aha moment. It's okay, I've been here before. Why is this subject matter playing over now? 4-4 is very positive, right? 1-400, if you're seeing numbers in ones and numbers in fours, again, it's saying the same thing, the 1-400. It's spiritual connections and ascended masters and people to that degree. These energies are bothersome in a sense that it's like unbelievable. When you have a light bulb moment and you realize what you've been doing or how people have been playing you, you feel so mad. You feel so bloody mad. You cannot believe it was right there. Right there. And this has a lot of times, a lot of projection can come from potentially other people being in their life and them maybe deflecting. It's almost like this belief system that we can have at times where we feel this person was, I'll leave it at that. I'll explain it later. So the false starts are really being focused on in the past tense. For feminines, you guys are looking at things and you're like, I'm being really patient here. I was a patient person. Masculines are like, anytime I wanted to start something, it had a very, something was coming at them at left field. Or it could have been an emotion, a belief system. And they're getting that now. They're getting the realities of these situations, where the triggers and the anger comes from. When it does come to any time they're wanting to build, a projection coming towards them in a sense, and it's almost like an armor, like protection energy. And again, they've got the wheel. This is a cycle where they're aware of this cycle now. You guys are in the sun frequency. Like you're like, I'm having the strength. I can't always be the only one with the strength and be, you know, that figure. You also use your energy on positive things, feminine, and you want to do the work on yourself, and you realize that people do have their own personal power, and this is a detachment of enabling, but also, and that's with many people, many areas, but it's also the energy of knowing that you're building what you want to build now. However that's going to be, it's like physically needing to know that with the Saturn frequency, stepping up, being in the Capricorn energy, I'm focusing on those tribes that work with me. Because you feel some of that, unless that person is able to shift their energy, there's something they're directly dealing with in a very personal manner. And it is a very personal, spiritual energy. No shade whatsoever. I'm going to pull clarifiers. Yeah, these injustices, these things that have prevented them, this is even at a spiritual level, they're in awareness of this. They know these things are there, and they're directly looking at them. And I'm almost seeing the Aries energy there, the bull, okay? The Mars frequency coming through, very, very protective. Protective of what they now know, but didn't see before. They're protective of their cup, their energy, their healthy boundaries, which is really great, because inner child energy and personal power and personal boundaries, they're getting this is an essential. This is essential for them to have life, not just the financial aspects. Wanting to have a happy life, wanting to actually, you know, it's almost like when you've had the epiphany, that you've had a belief system that you were in, and it's when we're in victim consciousness, we don't, and that's a real horrible way of saying it, but feeling very overburdened with things and having to be responsible towards other energies in our life, giving, and not receiving, very similar to feminine. This has happened on both sides of the fence. So this in an awareness state has been imbalanced, and the wheels coming in to actually change that, and they know it's happening. This is Juno coming through, right? Truth, this is or this isn't working. What are we going to do here? Needing this balance, Juno is going to, and Juno is the energy of, like I said, it's Venus, and it's the Venus energy. It's Juno was married to Zeus. Zeus is Jupiter. So masculine, feminine, it's within ourselves. The polarity is within ourselves. Saturn, father figure of the universe, to show us, to fine tune us. She then comes in like the judgment card. She's going into retrograde of the 8th. She will be looking at the romance house. She's showing those wounds. She's showing these areas in our life. And the Capricorn energy is empowering both sides of the fence to help this justice come about. This is where they're going to be spiritually free. And this has been something that feminines really have seen inside their masculines, where it has not been just about empath energy, love, or things to that degree. People around them have energetically seen where, how do I put it? They visually, potentially weren't seeing their light, their peace, their sanity. I listened to a song the other day, and it was Give Your Heart a Break, and it was by Demi Lovato. Now, initially when I heard that song, I used to think from the presence of giving it to a person, and I did, and it was a message to my TF. And the funny thing is, when I listen to that now, it directly relates to an opinion I should have had myself. Now, this is what's going on with masculine. Like when I listen to that now, I laugh at myself. I'm like, wow. Because it is a belief. When we're looking at that inside another person, we're saying, hey, deep down, I did physically believe that. But I was so empathically connected that I didn't give myself that blessing back then either. I viewed it in him. I didn't view it in myself, and I view that in myself now. And that's what I mean by when the feminines have gone through an awakened state to the point the third eye is activated, you have the yin-yang balance. You can't lie. So even if you wanted to go back to certain ways of being, universe won't let you because you've broken that seal, it's open, and you cyclically, intuitively know certain things. You can't go back to that old way of being. Masculines are going through this. Look at this. Across the eyes is blocked. The purple symbolizing the energy of the spiritual telepathic connection with source, with people around them, with tribe energy, with TF. It's the awakening and the activation of the third eye, the purge of the egoic energy. And then the trigger points of the Capricorn frequency going, well, we now know that you can't live in that frequency because it's killing your faith. You've lost faith in the old energy. This is where the 7 coming through with Saturn, 7, healthy choices. Having the awakened state, looking at things and saying, no. I'm hearing, what's her name? My name is no, my number is no. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. This is where masculines are at. Very fatigued. Now, if you are directly looking at male collectives, you guys may be very quiet at the moment. You may be viewing things from a very unique perspective. You also may be eating more, okay? It's going to slow down. There is a blockage in that chakra. So if you are finding that you're perspiring a lot, if you're eating, it's part of a spiritual upgrade. 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is you're going to start eating a little bit more. And then, because we have Jupiter now in the energy of Capricorn, it's positive because it means we will grow in a perfectified sense. We're going to do it more effectively, correctly. We're choosing correctly, making healthy choices. It's like looking at going, okay, what do I need? I need fuel. Yeah, okay, how much fuel do I need? Yeah, just enough to get me from X, Y, and Z. You're going to be more realistic because of the fatigue and the death of ego, which happens in various stages. It's not all happening. There's perspectives of that through the chakra system, through the energies, soul contract energies, right? The eating extra is because you will then go through a dissension, a purgatory sense, and you're going to need the energy for that. When it's out of your system, you've cleared that energy. It's a bit like a snail. Okay? Those of you who are French, when you collect snails, they need a detox before. Okay? I'm just saying, I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying, I have seen things. You allow them to have their detox where, take it slow, have your detox. What is the foundation of this energy they're purging? Pretty harsh, man. Pretty harsh. Pretty harsh. Yep. Detaching from toxic energies, detaching from karmics, detaching from people, places, things. It's like not doing. It's almost like they're wanting to get into a bunker for some peace and quiet for a bit and recoke. Frustrating. Okay, now because they're diving into that ocean, they don't know how to articulate this. Yeah, see? Purge, giggle. They don't know how to open up about this. It might be embarrassment, it might be shame. And again, we all feel that when we're going through a stage. And there can also be like, how do I explain this? It sounds silly or it feels silly, especially when you have a light bulb moment. I can't believe I was doing that. Some things that they're thinking about are deeply traumatic and they do mean a lot. So how do you explain that when you haven't actually made peace with it yourself? It's very difficult, but it's making them feel very fatigued. Again, this can be to do, again, with a family-related dynamic or an area in their life that has been very responsible. Cheeseburger. Yeah, I'm a bit hungry this morning, but I haven't had anything since yesterday. There you go. Saturn. Fine-tuning. Some areas in their life that aren't balanced are coming up into the visual. But again, how do I put it? Especially with the separation energy, I feel this is more in relation to the energy downloads that they're having, and this is overall in their whole life. Toxic energies that don't make them feel grounded, they're detaching from. There is this, again, it's 6, it's Saturn energy, wanting to have this upgrade, leveling up, stepping up. And it's not all their, how do I put it? It's not even their fault in their own life. There has been an overwhelming energy of burdens and people's expectations that, I'm telling you, as above, as below. And it doesn't make them feel great. It's not making them feel great at all. Wow. Okay. Again, crown chakra, Saturn, foundation, Saturn. The foundation of where they came from, that they left, it's taken time to rebuild. This year is they wanting to be home. They're wanting to be physically grounded. And it's almost like, even with their intuition, look at this. Intuition on intuition, Saturn energy. Coming home, like finding that space, finding that foundation, becoming the king in their own lives. Past tense energy, too much manipulation, fair-based frequency, moving into alignment of doing things that are healthier, afraid that they're moving back into that energy, okay? To go through the tunnel and to not go around the tunnel. But this is an energy they may be facing in order to finalize that old energy so that they don't have to repeat this cycle, yeah, so they can be home, okay? So they can be home. They don't see how, and they're not enjoying this process. They're not being very forgiving to themselves either. Let's see feminine. Still feeling quite blocked, feminines. Not knowing what the choice is, almost in your, the purge of, the opening of the ego. I won't say the purge of the ego. The opening of the third eye is, again, yin yang. Okay, well, I don't like this vibration. Or some of the power is out of your hands no matter what. It's like, in your own energy, what you can deal with, you do. You have that as a reality. And that is a healthy viewpoint to look at your life in general, whoever you are. In your own energy, if you're trying to achieve something and it's completely out of your control, well, it's not your choice, is it? It's universe. Try not to tune into that and get too upset. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into feminine's energy. Oh. Okay, I do feel there is going to be some communication. At first, you may be feeling you don't know what to say, you don't know how to feel, you can feel your throat chakra growing, you can also feel quite blocked off. Now, this is exhaustion. You really do need to get your downloads, but also, kind of replenish. It feels very heavy energy. Yeah, you're very burdened. You're burdened by this energy. It feels overwhelming. And this is more from an empath point of view. You will feel the energy. You're making me hungry, cheeseburgers. Okay, not wanting to talk. Overburdened. Trying to create healthy boundaries from people. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink, okay? Looking at this situation, I'm feeling as though this week you might actually be having some energies of empath. Now, the empath will be heart chakra activated. It can be to do with a pain body experience that another energy around you is receiving. It can also be a reminder of what you went through, but I feel it's more to do with an energy. this will be more knowing what you know now. Other people around you, when you see it, I feel you guys are wanting to empathically move away. Disconnect. You should always trust your judgment. Your judgment's not the issue. That's the funny thing. That's the way I described it to my daughter. And when I do actual, for those of you that have regular readings with me, you know I work in a format sense of what's required on the day with you. So it can be channeling your loved ones who have passed over, and that does work better with Skype, guys. I have done channelings when it is like if it was email and we're bouncing back and forward, I can channel your loved ones that passed over. Your loved ones do get actually angry when I can't directly communicate with you, because I can't channel those energies effectively through, okay, this is what they're showing me, this is what's being said. So that effectively works better via telephone, email, or Skype, not video. Video is one-sided. It's their conversational piece only. Versus if you're wanting, for that to continue flowing, it needs to more be in that format. Now, when it does come to your astrology, I can tune into that. When it comes to your healing and your pain body experience, coaching sessions. So it's very much customized on the day. You could be getting very triggered and needing to get grounded. I customize it on the day. So it's unique for what you're needing at the time. And you'll always know when to book. Okay, what's coming through? So many of you on the feminine side of the fence might be looking at your life and saying, okay, I need to be more kind to myself. I need to be looking at life. And yeah, okay, I can look at that from a perspective of what you've been through, and you can look at other people's energies and have compassion. Something you hear might make you feel some sort of way. I don't feel depressed, just empath energy, okay? Anyway, as I was saying, I forgot to tell you, Chris, I went off track there. I was like, I swear I was going to say something. I went through a stage, especially in my own spiritual awakening, and connected in with TF, and it's going to relate to anything, okay? This is an example. When we say we don't trust our intuition, your intuition isn't what failed you. A situation triggered you or hurt you some sort of way. And mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, we feel that if our intuition was on fire, we would have then saved ourselves that energy. That's codependent frequency. It's the Band-Aid that we have chosen to work with, so that we're going, okay, I can somehow avoid disaster and adversity. Well, healthy choices, yes, but it doesn't guarantee it. It's the same analogy as I use on YouTube when I say, hey, Mum said you're getting an ice cream. The ice cream truck broke down. She said if you're good, you're getting it, and then you don't get it. And you think just, oh, I was good, so I don't understand. Again, we need to understand we get the yin and yang. And even when it does come to you saying, hey, empathically you have magnetic connection, you can still say no. And it's okay to say yes if you want to say yes. You need to be loving towards yourself of what you want. But don't have an expectation then after the fact of no communications there. Yes, well, this is where the energy is. It's like you got the sympathy for the situation, but you also know detachment is necessary from a perspective of you can't do another person's work. You can't. Exactly. You're tired of, many feminines are tired of getting the, how do I put it? Shit at the end of the barrel. You're tired of eating leftovers. Okay? 5 minutes until you're getting sick of eating shit at the end of the barrel. And this is like, it's like, no, this foundation's faulty. No, if you have to bring it down, you will. You're like, and I'm seeing this detachment. You can love, right? And the wound is, because this is Aries and Chiron, but it's in Venus. Like, if love is not reciprocated, it's not love. Black and white. This could be a mindset going on, but it's also not love to enable people either. And stepping back. So the Tower could be a feeling you're directly having, or it could very separately be, no, stop, okay, this is kind of risque. We need to look at these things. Your fear potentially could be living this all the time, and no, but that potentially could be coming up for feminists. Let's pull a clarifier, because overall you got stuff. It's what's going to happen is going to happen, but you got the star, which is, it's positive. So, okay, what is Tower energy? Yeah, we're no longer wanting to drink like the soot at the, it's like, you know, panning for gold. It's there. I swear I can see it. It's shiny. And then, you know, you kind of get a mouthful of soot. I feel this is more to do with false starts, okay? Because your hope's going to return. Something is going to happen to transform this. But, I mean, it's in the reverse, but I'm going to show you up. I mean, I'm getting the imagery from the card, not the interpretation of the card right now. Look at her face. She looked pissed. She's like, no deal. Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to come for me? Yeah, it's not a gold nugget. It's like stones, kidney stones. Oh, boy. I talked to a girlfriend who's quite spiritual, and I had a kidney infection. They gave me the wrong antibiotics, so they had to put me to 1,000 milligrams. And she says, it means something's pissing you off. And I was like, that would be an understatement. And I was doing all sorts of good, healthy things. You know, I was drinking cranberry juice and, yeah. Okay, now what is being shown to me is, yes, you guys do need to trust your intuition. It's going to serve you correctly. But at the moment, the fatigued energy that potentially can come in, I'm going to pull you a card. What do you want to know, Antonella? What would you like to know? Okay, and tonight you're learning to catch a misalignment early. Did you have an epiphany? The more into your ascended state you get, guys, you will find you will see your frequency. You will be able to look at the yin, yang, and you will see yourself inside of both of them in some shape or form. Okay? Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and ABBA. Yeah. Comedy is health. Okay. Any last messages for the collective? I do feel many of you are going to get communication. Many of you are going to have some areas in your life start shifting. And it's strange because I just keep seeing movement in the Mercury retrograde, which is quite strange. It does feel movement energy. Movement. What is going on with the areas? At the moment, the energies of them coming through, it's about ending old timelines. I will pick a card for you, my love. Yeah, it's family-related dynamic. Okay, so for the collective energy, purging, okay? Purging. Oh, look at the yin and yang on this card. Masculine and feminine's viewpoint. Actually looking at the past versus the present. Maybe potentially both energies when it does come to home, heart, purging, feeling, growing, planting seeds, manifesting. It's a pause before the movement. Now this pause is bringing all sorts of things up. And you know, this is so ironic how this happens. Have you ever, as an empath, have you ever been to the point you are having the shittiest day and crap be happening? Legit, crap be happening and it's coming at you. This is what's being shown to me. you're looking at it going, I'm doing everything I can to stay very calm, very on my side of the fence. And it's like The Walking Dead. People be jumping the fence and coming for you. And you're looking at it and you're going, what? Why is this happening? It's to test your inner strength, to show you have outgrown that. So if that's coming at you in your tribe, in the people around you, at your workplace, with your family, whoever's side of the fence is coming from, wherever it's coming from, there's just going to be no to give. No. But it's going to show you. It's going to show you. Be so up in your grill, and it will be no deal. You're going to shift that very quickly, though. Your energy, this is the cause and effect of shift and change. It's the cause and effect of shift and change. And it's almost like out with the old, in with the new. And look at the protection. It's almost like the Kundalini activation. The peace coming from detachment, the peace coming from removing those energies, almost white lighted to the point you're physically moving forward. Again, it's for ending a cycle, moving into the new beginning. Again, 1-400, 41 on the card. Yin and yang having a download, getting the realities, having a sharp focus, like a magnifying glass on a situation. Look, it's almost like the two energies in duality. It's like, bye. My name is no, my number's no, you got to let it go. Like moving in there. And it's not, it will always be with self first, but you'll simultaneously be doing it. Be it together or not, your vibe will tribe. Your tribe will vibe. That's the reality. They're just not. This is a shift. And again, I'm being guided to the masculine energy on the card is holding the star. So this person, yours feminine is coming from the spiral of energy, your inner child. But the star is linked in with this destiny. And look at how it's flowing. Yellow on the card here. And the heart, I don't know if you can see it. There's the yellow sunflower and the purple near the third eye. Any questions? I miss them terribly. We've all been through self-sabotage, unfortunately. I mean, I look back on my journey. There is a lot of stuck energy at the moment with divine masculines, okay? But don't think that when we say, it's very triggering when we hear stuck energy. So articulating things is necessary sometimes to dig a bit deeper. Each person is on their own journey, reality, right? Stuck energy, it doesn't mean to say that what we see in the cards isn't showing that this stuck energy has been worked on. It's but in different ways, very similar to the feminines. When we look at a situation, we're working through it. This isn't something they haven't been working on. This is something they are frustrated with, and they don't want this anymore. They would like to be free. And freedom has come through in their cards. Freedom is their spirituality. What takes you to your happy place? A lot of times it can be the Band-Aid effect of toxic karmic frequency, habits, routines, patterns. No, this is where they are. They're spiritually freeing themselves, which takes time. It is work. There can be leftover residue energies in their old life. Potentially for male energies, they may be looking at paradigms and breaking those paradigms. But it's the codes, the light codes that are coming in at the moment will make both sides feel trigger hungry and tired. I'm seeing I don't know why, I feel within 3 days it's going to start amping up, and there is a shift, and it feels almost like the energy I'm tuning into is shock. But it's, how do I put it? It's movement, okay? Whatever that is, it's movement. Yeah. I get random texts. Self-care must come first. Look, when you're in the early stage of a spiritual awakening, a lot of energy will be placed on other energies around you. So much so to the point you, I say, so much so you feel it's oxygen, right? The further into the journey you get, the self-love energy that you place back on yourself, you will not be angry. You will not be angry. People will think you're very strange. You will be at innate peace. Innate peace. You will understand inner reality. What is yours has always been yours. And it's, you know, owning things. We're not a car, okay? We're not a car. We don't own things. We wish to. It's a bit like a flower, looking at it in the garden and going, how beautiful is that? It's got its moment and it's going to pass. Appreciating that and that memory and that vibration, it's inside you now. It's there forever. No one can take that from you. But if you cut it, potentially it could be shortened. So it's not cutting that fruit before it's ripe, and it's understanding that the patience is detachment. It's when we think of patience, we think, okay, if anything, we're looking at old patterns and we're replaying them like a broken record and ahead of what's going to be. Horrible vibration to be in. Horrible vibration. Being in detachment means you're not tuning into that, you're tuning out of it. But the further into the ascension you get, it does change because you pay none to that, but you're getting vibrations, which is different. You're managing the vibration of your spiritual upgrade, and you're very focused on that. Yeah, but like I said, Michelle, at the moment, the energy in general is very matter of fact. Everyone collectively is feeling that. Supermarket people are telling me that. No more, the BS rate will be at 0. How are they reacting though, SK? Like random texts, there's no reason to, like if it's in a, is it shifting your focus off yourself? Is it communication and conversations of the future? Or is it more texts, but they're doing their thing and not really wanting anything? If it's just random communication, like friendship communication, that's fine. Be open to what they say. Be in the receptive mode. So listen. He said, I love you, sent me 2 songs and then disappeared. That's okay, but again, don't play it how you feel. It's a statement. It's not a question, so don't respond back. If they make a statement, accept the statement. If they're asking a question, answer the question. Better check time. Yeah, then just keep it flowing. I mean, send an X. Thank you. You can still reciprocate to a person and be supportive. I mean, that's high frequency. If they were taking you off track and off path, that's different. Be open to communication. Communication for a lot of the collective this year is coming. So where you are in your vibration is going to be absolutely crucial, especially with the work that you will need to do within reunion. I'm telling you, you best be ready. It's a very unique journey. If you are wanting a booking and you do want me to psychically tune into you or connect in with the astrology, get grounded, this is going to be an interesting transit. The link is below. I will come more towards you guys with more lives. So stay tuned and I will come to you guys soon. Love and light.